Hello, cellists again. This is the second part of the A melodic minor scale video and helping you understand that. In the first part, we talked about what the scale is and how it's structured, some fingerings and how to shift, and practicing the bottom, the middle, and the top. When you practice those, I strongly recommend that you practice with what we call a drone. So I've got my computer next to me, and I can turn on an A, and you hear an A playing in the background here. I'm gonna let that play to help me know the pitch that I'm in tune. So there's first finger A. So when you practice this, I practice the first octave, then the second, then the third, which we kind of did a little bit, but I would practice it slowly with each note twice. So like this. So I'm playing each note twice. I've got a big full sound. I'm going up one octave and back down. When I can play the first octave from first finger A to open A and back down really well in tune, I'd progress on and play the second octave, starting on open A up to harmonic A. I'm going to play that now. And I'm smiling because I just did something that is great for me to highlight. And I highlighted it in the violin video, so I should do it here as well. I've given you a fingering in the previous video. It doesn't matter if you use that fingering. I don't care. My feelings aren't hurt if you use a different fingering. What I care about is that you can play in tune and that you can play something well. So if you were paying close attention to what I just did, on the way up, I didn't use the fingering that I taught you in the last video. And on the way down, I used the fingering that I taught you because it was like, oh, right, this is the fingering that I told them, so I need to use that fingering. As a cellist, I use different fingerings to play the same scale all the time. And it depends on the situation and the style and what I want the music to sound like. And so know that you don't have to use my fingerings. I don't care, but I want you to sound good. And so if you don't have a good fingering, here's a good suggestion. And so that's kind of why it's there. So I did play the scale up and down slowly, the second one. After you can do the first bottom octave and the middle octave well, I'd start on third finger harmonic A and go up to the top third finger harmonic A with the third octave up high. I'm gonna play that now as well. Here's my drone again. Harmonic A. I'm gonna start on that note and go up. So there's the third, the top octave. Now, another thing that I wanted to address in this video is how you play well with a good sound. Well, when you're playing in general, you want to have a good amount of bow weight. I don't know if you can see this from where you're at, but my bow, when I'm, playing like this, my bow is pretty well in the center. I haven't moved it between the fingerboard, see where the end of the fingerboard is, and the bridge. I'm pretty close when I make my bow tilt, but when I get my bow flat, it's pretty well in the middle. That's generally where you want to play. However, the higher you shift, like about there's that top A, think about how long this string is. When I press the third finger down on that high A, the string is really very short. But if I play open A, the string is really long. When the string is longer, I can get away playing with my bow over the fingerboard like this, and it's sounding okay. But if I play with my bow over the fingerboard like this, when I'm way up here on that high A, it is not going to sound good. It's going to get crunchy and it's going to be gross sounding and it's not good. So you should know that the higher you go with your fingers, the higher you shift and the higher you play, the closer your bow needs to get to the bridge as you're playing for you to get a good sound. Also, it's important that you use more bow the higher that you go to get a good sound. The speed of your bow allows your tone to have a better sound and to project more out. And that's what we were going for with this, is a really strong sound that has good projection and good tone. So that's kind of the second piece. The first piece was the last video, just understanding the scale, where your fingers go and how to play. The second one is practicing all the different octaves, so the bottom, the middle, and the top octave, 3-octave scale, all the octaves separately and slowly with the drone until you can play it really well. The third part is putting it all together and speeding it up till you get to the requirement for this scale, for the audition, for the symphonic audition, you know. So the requirement for that is quarter note equals 60. So that's 60 beats per minute if you turn on a metronome. Also, you can think about counting seconds. So like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. This right here that I'm snapping, this is about 60 beats per minute. I'm a little fast, but it's about 60 beats per minute. So the actual music you have for this scale is 8 notes. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and it keeps going up and down at that speed. Separate bows with a really good sound. Okay, so I'd recommend you speed it up slowly over time. Get to where you can go bum, bum, really in tune and really well. I would do that with a drone, and then speed it up, turn on a metronome, and speed it up, click and click and click. And pretty soon you'll be playing this scale beautifully and really well. So I'm gonna play the final version of this scale, what you should be able to do at the end of this all. I'm gonna turn on a drone and give you that pulse and play that, you know, all the way up and down. So 1 and 2 and ready, full bow, and so that right there is what you should be doing for your scale. Good luck, and if you have any questions, let me know.